You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Jupiter day. I am back in my office finally after about a week and a half, and I would be lying if I said I was ready to come back to work. This is the first time I've put a full face of makeup on in over a week. It's not even a full face, and yeah, still coming back to the Pacific time zone, still coming back to work mode. If you haven't been watching and keeping up to date, I've been in Maui for the past week and a half, and it's a very different speed than the continental US. So I'm grateful that you're all here with me, slowly easing back into things. I didn't even have the energy to like fully do my hair today, you guys. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be back. Before we start, I am going to burn some sage because it's necessary. It just is today. Because, you know, the office has been empty for a little bit, and I think my oracle decks need a little bit of sage. I think I need a little bit of sage, if I'm being honest. Getting the cameras set back up and everything. Yeah. It's been a morning, but I'm grateful you're here, and I would love to know how you're feeling about the current energy as well. We have some like awkwardness this morning, but things should clear up by the afternoon. Okay, already feel better. Already feel better. Hopefully you got some of that energy as well if you needed it. Okay, let's jump right into what's going on today. Like I said, give me a little bit of grace, you guys, because my brain is moving at Maui speed still. But today, Thursday, Jupiter day, we have the Moon and Gemini making a couple different connections, some of them really positive and fortunate later in the day. But this morning, like I said, we're feeling a little bit of an awkward energy. So let's pull up the chart here and jump right in. At 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the moon made this awkward connection to Mars and Venus. So take a look at the chart here. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And look at Capricorn. See how Mars is at 12 degrees and Venus is at 13 degrees. Mars and Venus are traveling alongside each other for a couple of weeks, and they'll form an exact conjunction, I believe, on February 16th, right around Valentine's Day. This is really a beautiful transit that we're tracking because Mars is more of our energy, that masculine, physical drive, and Venus is more of our feminine energy, flowing, but still rules our desires, beauty, values. So you can see how these planets are sort of like two sides of the same coin. And when they're transiting alongside each other, we're experiencing more balance, more unity, more harmony when it comes to our relationships with other people. So, not even necessarily romantic relationships, but if you're someone who expresses more feminine, you'll probably be more in line with your masculinity or more easily able to cooperate with masculine people in your life, and vice versa. Again, this is happening over the course of about the next week or two. So we're feeling the effects of this for quite a while. Really a beautiful transit that's playing out. But that means over the next couple weeks, anytime the moon makes a connection to Mars, it's going to subsequently make an immediate connection to Venus as well. So we're kind of experiencing the Mars-Venus energy when it comes to the moon, like back to back. We'll be feeling it. And we got a little dose of that this morning at 3 and 5 a.m. Pacific time. So if you live on the East Coast, it's probably right as you were waking up. Maybe overnight you felt this a little bit, or you just woke up in this energy. So you can see the Gemini moon over here is making that awkward angle to Mars and Venus. This is called a quincunx, or an inconjunct angle, and it's when these planets are not exactly opposite each other. They're one sign off. So there's always an opportunity with the transits, right? And we have the opportunity to make some adjustments this morning, but that's why it could feel a little bit awkward, because it's like the moon in Gemini is very social, very chatty, wants to be around other people. Mars and Venus in Capricorn are more isolated and more like focused on me and my desires and, you know, what I want. So you can see how there's a little bit of kind of an awkwardness there just with the energy. But also, you know, yesterday the Gemini moon was really quiet. It didn't make a connection until I believe 9 or 10 p.m. last night, a square to Jupiter. So although we had that Gemini energy, which is very mercurial, very almost chaotic is how I feel like Gemini energy can sometimes manifest, it wasn't too strong yesterday because the moon wasn't making a lot of connections. Today we'll feel that Gemini energy a little bit more. And for me, it's feeling a little bit chaotic, a little bit like there's a lot going on and there's a lot of mental chatter when the moon is in Gemini. So keep that in mind. And as the moon makes these awkward connections to Mars and Venus, first, you know, the moon made this awkward connection to Mars at 3 a.m. So this could have looked like restlessness in your sleep or intense dreams, something like that. But if you were awake, this is like our energy levels aren't exactly matching up with our mood when the moon forms this imbalanced angle to Mars. So we might be over ambitious this morning or under motivated this morning, and I definitely am feeling like the latter, so let me know how you're feeling. But with the moon in Gemini, especially with Mars kind of pinging in this awkward angle, it can make us prone to overthinking, and that's something that we'll see throughout the day today. This Gemini moon is going to have the focus really on our mental chatter, so try not to overthink too much. Remember, retrograde season is technically over, but we're still in Mercury's shadow period. So communication malfunctions, tech glitches are still possible, and we're still a little bit in our head from Mercury's retrograde. So if your energy isn't quite feeling in line with your mood or how you want to feel this morning, you're right on track. And like I said, these awkward angles give us the opportunity to make adjustments. So with the moon in Gemini, we can gather new information, we can learn new things very easily. And this is a time to gather more information or to see things a little bit differently, because once we have all the information and the moon finally opposes Mars, I believe it'll be over the weekend when the moon enters Cancer, we will be able to be more aligned in the actions we're taking, and our actions will be able to have a longer lasting impact with Mars and Capricorn. Okay, yeah, I had the most intense dream and then I woke up at 1:11. So for you, Cassie, also the moon was squaring off to Jupiter at 9 p.m. So a combination of this Mars energy and this Jupiter energy with the moon overnight really gave us like a burst of energy, or, you know, like mental energy, you know what I mean? So that's probably what you were experiencing. Jupiter's influence, especially with the Gemini moon, gave us a burst of energy last night. I know I had a hard time going to sleep. I was like, oh my gosh, it's already midnight. And Marty was like a crazy kid, wide awake overnight. Yeah, look to the children. If you have kids, they're a great sensor for the current energy because they're so much more sensitive. Aw, thank you. Cassie is just hyping me up this morning. I'm here for it. Thank you. Thank you. I was in Maui for like a full week, not wearing makeup, just waking up. You could, like, my hair was just like windblown by the beach, you guys. I love California. I love my life. I love my home here, but you get really spoiled when you're on Maui for a week. Feel really motivated today. Oh, that's great. You have an important day at work. Awesome. Well, by midday today, we're going to feel a lot more in line with our motivation. So I'll get to that in just a moment. I know I've been talking about this awkward energy this morning, and as with everything, you know, my experience is infused into the forecast that I am giving you. So take the awkwardness. It could just be also like I am coming back to my life, my normal life. So I'm like feeling a little bit of resistance, you know. But the transits are also in line with that right now. Good morning, Danny. Thank you for being here. And I'm not trying to rub it in, you guys. I'm not trying to. But I'm seriously trying to figure out in my head, like, how do I move to Maui and bring my dogs? I swear if we didn't have dogs here, we wouldn't have come back. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm happy to be here with you all. You guys, I'm present. I'm here. Okay, so we had that awkward angle between the moon and Mars that happened at 3 a.m. and just created an imbalance between our energy levels and mentally where our motivations are, where we're at emotionally. The same awkward angle between the moon and Venus happened a couple hours later. Now, this could have actually brought up some unresolved issues because Venus is still in her shadow period as well. So this morning, you know, it's like our moon in Gemini is like, okay, chatty, mental chatter, like, let's think about all the things. It's very overthinking. We want to do things. We want to be around people. We probably have a little bit more energy with the moon in Gemini, but Venus in Capricorn is like, okay, but we need to get back to the long-term goals. We need to like have some stability. So there's kind of this imbalance between our emotional needs and our ability to give and receive love, because we're like emotionally ruled by the moon. We just want to go, do with the moon in Gemini. But Venus in Capricorn is like, wait, let's make sure everything is lining with our values. So you can see, like, the Gemini moon wants to go and do things, but Mars and Venus in Capricorn are kind of like, is this fully aligned? Are we fully ready to take action, to express our love, to receive love? So this energy is giving us this opportunity to make adjustments, to really reflect on our values, pause a little bit before we take action, before we do anything, and, you know, try not to let our energy or our passions get the best of us as we're like wanting to move forward, but we don't have all of our ducks in a row just yet. So this morning is a time to make any last adjustments, any little tweaks, so that whatever actions you are making today, whatever decisions you are making today, do feel fully aligned. I know that was like a long way of explaining the awkward energy this morning, but it's awkward for a reason. It's like, what's actually going on here? But here we have the headline transits of the day happen at about noon and midnight. So we'll feel the energy strongest noon and midnight. And that's because the moon in Gemini is forming a harmonious angle to Saturn in Aquarius. This is a really positive, fortunate angle. And it can help us slow down a bit with this Gemini moon being very mentally stimulating. So you can see when the moon hits 16 degrees in Gemini, it forms this nice flowing angle to Saturn in Aquarius. And you can see the other angle it will form at about midnight will be to the sun right next to Saturn there. So when this happens, any awkwardness, any overthinking that we were doing can kind of slow down, calm down, and we can return to our senses. We can return to practicality. We get a little bit more patience, which is definitely welcome under the Gemini moon, because Gemini energy, you know, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's very fast moving, which is why Somebody said, I think Alex said, I'm feeling really motivated today. You probably have like a lot of thoughts coming through very quickly with the moon in Gemini, and that can feel very motivating. It can feel like, okay, we are ready to do things. We're ready to see people. We're ready to make moves, you know. Luckily, this influence from Saturn can give us that time to just take a beat, take a step back, slow our mind down, clear our mind, resolve any awkwardness, any tension from the morning, and find some stillness, find the pace, right? So the moon forming a trine to Saturn kind of gives us a dose of responsibility, of, it's like, you know, Saturn is like that fatherly voice, like, hey, wait, slow down. Let's like make sure we have a plan here. Let's make sure that what we're doing will stand the test of time. So Saturn's influence is very much welcome with this Gemini moon. And also, if you're finding that you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed or like there's a lot going on emotionally, taking some time to yourself midday will be really helpful with this trine between the moon and Saturn. It could actually be very fortunate to just kind of go within, take a breath, take a beat, slow down a little bit. Okay, so that's the energy that's kind of dominating the main part of our day. That's what we'll be feeling. It's almost this like the moon is like go, go, go. Saturn is like slow down. So really today is all about finding a pace, and that will help you keep your energy more stable throughout the day. 2 more transits to talk about. We only have the moon today, and but like I said, the Gemini moon is like, I'm just feeling very like mentally, there's like a lot going on. There's a little bit of mental chaos happening. Let me know if you're feeling that too. And that's not always a bad thing. I'm a Virgo. I'm ruled by Mercury. So like I always have the thoughts coming through, you know, and it can be a superpower when you're able to like, you know, quickly integrate thoughts, or your mind is moving a little bit faster, but it can also be a burden if you're overthinking a certain situation or you can't let go of a thought. So Saturn's influence can help us. It's almost like if you've ever heard like a meditation coach or someone instruct you or give you advice on how to meditate, it's like, it's not about not having the thought, it's about witnessing the thought and then letting it pass through. So Saturn's influence can help us discern. Discernment is huge. Discern whether it's a thought that we really need to hold on to, whether it's an emotion we really need to hold on to, because the moon in Gemini can bring up all different kinds of emotions and make our mood change very quickly. So is this something I need to hold on to, or is this something that can just kind of move through my mental space? Does that make sense? Aw, thanks so much, Alex. I appreciate that. So Saturn's influence, like I said, just helps us return to our senses. By tonight, things change a little bit because the Gemini moon squares off to Neptune in Pisces. So we'll jump ahead about 6 hours or so. And you can see Neptune is at 21 degrees in Pisces. And when the moon hits 21 degrees in Gemini, they'll be locked into a square for just a couple hours. A square to Neptune causes confusion. It can cause delusion. It can also make it easy to fall down the rabbit hole to check out. So if you're someone who's already prone to addiction, or just kind of getting a little lost in your own thoughts, your own head, beware tonight. Tonight is not a good time to make decisions or move forward, at least for that moment. And like I said, it's not a great night to indulge or splurge because it could be very easy to go too far in that direction. So the moon squaring off to Neptune just kind of like clouds our judgment a little bit, which is, it'll feel like different than the rest of the day, because the moon forming a trine to Saturn, we're very in line with our judgment. We're very rational. We're very practical. We're really like thinking things through. When the moon forms this trine to Saturn at 11 a.m., but by 10 p.m., there's some confusion again. So it's almost like today, there's so much going on that it's like, first part of the day is a little awkward, confusing, then we get a dose of clarity. Then the end of the day is a little bit awkward and confusing when the moon squares off to Neptune, but by midnight, we get another dose of clarity because the moon, like I said, forms that same harmonious angle it did to Saturn, to the sun. And when the moon and the sun lock into a harmonious angle, we have confidence. Our inner emotions are working together with our outer expression, and we can express ourselves more easily. We just have a better understanding of what it is we truly want, and we can express that easily, like I said. So by the end of the day, we'll be feeling a little bit more like ourselves, feeling a little bit more like, okay, after maybe something will be revealed to you today, or you'll just gain a little bit more clarity through all of the, chatter, through all the emotions. The Gemini moon can make all of our personalities come out as well too, like all of our moods. So witness what's coming up, especially because it'll probably change throughout the day, and you can kind of choose, like, okay, is this how I want to be, or is this how I want to be? Saturn's influence can help us make those practical decisions and do so more responsibly. But by the end of the day, the moon and the sun kind of find this alignment and give us more clarity, and this will be especially helpful heading into the weekend's transits, because we have Can you still see me? Mercury retrograde. As soon as I bring up Mercury, something glitchy happens. Yeah, I'll go to bed before the moon squares off to Neptune. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. So what I was saying is that it's like, all of our moods are coming up. We can kind of pick and choose who we want to be today. We have that discernment with Saturn's influence. And then when the moon and the sun harmonize tonight, it can really help us get into our own body, get into our own skin, feel a little bit more comfortable, feel a little bit more confident as we head into the energy of the next few days, with Mercury and Pluto coming into a conjunction with one another. I'll show you what that looks like. Here you can see they're already very close to that conjunction. They're within a degree of each other. So Mercury and Pluto forming a conjunction, we'll talk about this more over the weekend's forecast tomorrow. But this can bring breakthroughs. This can bring profound thoughts and ideas. Mercury ruling our mental state, Pluto being the planet of death and rebirth. So this could look like, a major change or shift when it comes to your mental state. And this up and down we're doing today emotionally with the moon in Gemini is giving us that opportunity to ask, okay, what do I want to allow to come through? What do I want to allow to stay? Okay, what should pass through thought-wise, and what is something that I really want to sit with and hold on to and reflect on? So if today feels a little bit chaotic, that's okay. Just use the energy to your advantage. Witness what's coming through. Ask what wants to stay. Ask what needs to leave. And by the weekend, you could gain a little bit. You could level up, honestly. Like, it's not even about gaining clarity with Mercury and Pluto form a conjunction. It's about leveling up. Or letting the old ways die. So today's energy is really priming us for these breakthroughs, these realizations to come in. And the moon will be opposing that conjunction between Mercury and Pluto as well. So really forcing us to face these breakthroughs emotionally. Yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about tomorrow. I'm excited. So let's do a wrap up, and then I will pull a card. All right. So today we have a lot going on. We have the moon in Gemini, which can bring through a lot of emotions very quickly, and we can have a lot more mental chatter. It can feel a little bit chaotic because the moon in Gemini wants us to be social, wants us to go out, connect with other people, learn new information, but it makes some awkward connections to Mars and Venus as we start our day, making it feel like we're not quite ready to take those actions, or we're not quite aligned with our true desires and values. But by midday, the Gemini moon locks into this harmonious angle with Saturn, helping us slow down the pace and discern what thoughts are really serving us, helping us be a little bit more responsible and practical amid all of the energy we're feeling under this Gemini moon. By 10 p.m. Pacific time, the moon squares off to Neptune, causing some confusion. It can be easy to check out into a fantasy, to overindulge. So definitely a different energy by tonight. It's like we're going through these ups and downs of confusion and clarity, confusion. And then by the end of the day, we get more clarity and confidence when the moon and sun lock into that same harmonious angle the moon made to Saturn. But this happens at midnight, so many of us won't be awake for it. However, we'll be starting our Friday on a more confident note and just feeling more comfortable in our own skin, more comfortable expressing ourselves, and we'll have a better ability to truly see ourselves for who we really are when the moon and sun lock into this harmonious angle. This is priming the energy for this Mercury-Pluto conjunction we're already starting to feel today, giving us, setting the stage for breakthroughs or realizations to come through over the next couple days. All right, that's what's going on today. I love how a lot of you are feeling motivated and having a ton of energy. That is awesome. I'm definitely feeling the energy. It's just, for me at least, it's feeling a little like, there's so much going on. So hopefully I'm not just projecting that on you. But like I said, by middle of the day, end of the day, things will be a little bit more comfortable, and Saturn's influence in the next hour or so helps us really set a pace that will carry us through. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you guys are giving me the energy today. Like seeing you guys say like, I feel motivated, I have energy. I'm like, okay, this is helpful because I think I needed that. I needed the stage. I needed your energy. So seriously, thank you for being here. Tell me more about why the night felt so active. Okay. So last night, let me pull up the chart again, because you guys have all just been bringing me through this morning. I got you. Okay, so let's jump back like a day. So last night, here we are. Yeah, the moon squared off to Jupiter in Pisces. Marty is a Pisces, so he's feeling Jupiter in Pisces. I have to remember his rising sign. I can't remember his rising sign, but Jupiter, he'll feel Jupiter's influence as a Pisces, especially with Jupiter in Pisces. So the moon squaring off to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and excess, and it really amplifies or energizes anything it connects to. Normally, a square is a really tense transit that causes conflict, but when Jupiter is involved in a square, it just hardcore infuses energy into whatever planet it's connecting with. And we also yesterday had Mars forming a trine to Uranus. We're probably still pulling away from that right now. Yeah, so you can see Mars here in Capricorn forming this trine to Uranus. So that could have caused more of a change in energy as well, or a desire to take action, do things differently earlier in the day. And then by the night, when the moon squared off to Jupiter, it just gave us an abundance of energy. And that happened at about 9-10 p.m. Pacific time, so probably right around the middle of the night for you, where you are, Cassie. And we feel these transits as they're coming into coming into the angle and pulling away from the angle. So there's a couple hour window where we're really feeling this. And yeah, that square to Jupiter causes an excess of energy for sure, an abundance of energy, even when it's not welcome. Like I said, a square is normally a tense transit. Jupiter being so optimistic and abundant doesn't necessarily cause conflict, but it can cause an abundance of energy when you don't necessarily want it. And with the moon in Gemini too, I know I've said this a million times, but it's like there's a lot going on mentally, and our subconscious, ruled by the moon, has a hard time relaxing and slowing down with the moon in Gemini. So, that might be why either you had intense dreams, your mind was really like working overtime, going through a bunch of different dreams with the moon in Gemini, or, going through a bunch of different scenarios subconsciously, or you might have had a hard time sleeping because the moon formed that awkward angle to Mars earlier in the morning and kind of was like, hello, energy, like you need to do something with this. But, subconsciously we're like, no, we actually need some sleep today too, So hopefully that makes sense. Mars and Jupiter's influence with the moon in short, is probably why you felt either restless or having so much energy or so active overnight. Oh, his rising sign is Gemini. Okay, so the moon is also in his first house right now. I love that his rising sign is Gemini. And that means he's ruled by Mercury. So he probably was really feeling that Gemini moon energy in his first house. Like, hello, I'm here. I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to like be awake and take action right now. Yeah. But that means also, you know, the moon squaring off to Jupiter, like, is really activating his first house. And then if his rising sign is Gemini, then his ninth house, or excuse me, his 10th house is ruled by Pisces, probably. Jupiter in the 10th house. That's a great placement, by the way. Now I'm just like riffing on Marty's chart, who, by the way, Marty is her like almost 2. Is he almost 2? No, 2-year-old son. But yes, yeah. So that makes sense. He was ready for the day. He's like, I'm awake. I'm ready to go. So cute. Okay, now let's pull a card, you guys. This has been a little bit of a chaotic live stream this morning. I promise I'll be back in my regular flow by next week. Just still trying to get back into it. And I'm going to pull from the Universe Has Your Back deck today. Just a quick little message for us. So while I shuffle, this is your time to ask any last questions about what's going on. Tell me how the energy is feeling for you. Thanks, Alex. It's this Gemini energy, you guys. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. And also a good point, you know, what I was just talking about with Cassie is, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's almost 2. Pay attention to where Gemini is in your chart too, because that can also give you an idea of, you know, why you're feeling the way you're feeling, what area of your life is going to be impacted by the moon. It's just anytime we're talking about the moon or any major transits, looking to that part of your chart can be very beneficial and give you more clarity, more of a personalized idea of how the energy is going to affect you. So for me, like, I know that Gemini rules my 9th house. So, you know, travel, expansion. I'm definitely feeling like the emotional effects of traveling with the moon in Gemini. Not a bad thing necessarily, just definitely like, oh my goodness, there's a lot to integrate back from my travels, from getting back into real life. There was a lot of expansion that happened there that, you know, anytime you have an expansive experience, there's like an integration period to come back. So I'm integrating, guys. Okay. Let's see what message needs to come through. What do we need to know? Love this. Love this so much. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. I recognize I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. I love this card because Saturn's influence is really positive today, but Saturn can bring up fears, especially with these awkward angles between the moon and Mars and Venus in Capricorn, which also is more of like a fearful sign. We can be experiencing like, it's not fearful, it's more just awkwardness. Like, what do I really want? What do I really have the energy for? And we're questioning a lot with the moon in Gemini. Not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing to be questioning or trying to work through things, work through emotions mentally. Does that make sense? But if you find yourself worrying or confused or doubtful or trying to figure out what the next step is, or just a little bit overwhelmed emotionally or mentally, choose love. That's what this card is reminding us of. Fear is not serving us. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Just know that you have the love for yourself, the love for other people to carry you through. If you can align with the energy of love, you will be taken care of always. So that's a reminder today, a reminder from me as well. Every time I pull the card, I'm like, I know, universe, this is definitely for me too. There's no reason to fear. There's no reason to worry. We are all capable of loving, and I love all of you for joining me today, for bringing your amazing energy to the live stream. We have an awesome number of people with us this morning as well. So definitely affirming that the live streams are what I'm here to do. I know that I've been having 5-minute videos go out for the past week and a half or so, but I have missed being here with you all live. I love starting my day this way. So I'm grateful to be back here with you. I am choosing love. We're letting go of the worries and the fears, and the dogs are choosing love too. I don't know if you can hear them barking, but we're getting back into the energy of love. We got our crystals. We've got the sage that I burned for us, and the dogs are going crazy. Can you hear them, you guys? Oh, it's the Gemini energy. Okay. All right. I think that was enough for my first live stream back. I know I've been all over the place today, you guys. I swear I'm going to get it together. Just laughing to myself over here. I hope this isn't anybody's first time watching the live stream, because they're like, who is this weirdo right now? Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get back on track. I hope that today is fabulous for you. I hope the energy of the Gemini moon helps you be more curious, gain new information, enjoy being around other people, even if you're feeling a little out of body or not fully in your power just yet. You probably will be by the end of the day. So stay in the energy of love. Try not to overthink. Try not to worry. Try not to go nuts if you see a giant poodle like my dogs. And I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. We are going to be talking through the energy of the weekend. Like I said, we'll be really going through this conjunction between Mercury and Pluto, which is bringing breakthroughs, realizations, profound thoughts. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good weekend. So thank you so much for being here with me this morning. If you found this video helpful, listen to my partner, like and subscribe. We're trying to get through to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize these live streams, keep them free for you, keep this information coming, and help you align with the energy of the day every morning. So for those of you who showed up for yourself, showed up for me, brought your amazing energy, I can't thank you enough. Wonderful live stream back. And I'll be right back here tomorrow morning. But until then, thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.